Yes, sir. Right then, lads. Welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. We are back again. Arsenal nil, Liverpool 4. Away from home. What should I say, guys? What should I say? A lot to talk about in this game. So many positives rather than the negatives. Look, and not many people are really, really, disinterested. But the truth is, there are so many positives we take out of this game. We conceded 4 against Liverpool. It wasn't humiliating. Honestly, it was not humiliating. That is an Arsenal side that I saw brave enough to hold against Liverpool. Yes, there were individual errors in there. And I will talk about individual errors and why I think we should have conceded less goals than we actually did. But I'm going to say Mikel was really, really courageous. Mikel was really brave. Look at the lineup he played. He actually didn't change his lineup. At all. It was a normal match day. Played his usual 4-4-2. He played Nuno ahead of Tiani, which I think in the second half he was a little bit exposed as well. He played Abusam Lekonga. It was kids against boys on paper, and obviously in the second half it was really men against boys. But guys, let's say this: so many positives out of that game. Yes, I predicted a 2-2. We didn't even get to score. We only had 5 shots on goal. But well done, boys. Well done, the lads. Ramsdale, very, very good performance. I'm going to ask you, who was your man of the match for Arsenal? Look, I think in the Liverpool side, I would say probably Trent. I could go for Trent. I could go for Mane. I could go for anyone. But we are here to talk Arsenal. So who was your man of the match in the Arsenal jersey? I'll go for me. It's Aaron Ramsdale, guys. It's Aaron Ramsdale because we could have conceded more. And I said it when we were going into the game, and I said that Liverpool, they're gonna get there. That's what they do. They're that good. They're always gonna get there. They're always gonna be that good. They're always going to be, absolutely. Aggressive on you. And yes, they were just like they were against United. I think we were more decent than Manchester United. We put up a fight. We were so good. It was an admirable performance. Look, if you get me Liverpool tomorrow, and I said this in the match preview, that it's a game that's coming too early. It's not the ultimate test. I mean, if you're talking about ultimate test, if we're playing West Ham, that could have been the ultimate test because West Ham are not so far away. But Liverpool, they're so far away. This is a squad that has been built for 5-6 years. So Arsenal losing to Liverpool, it's not a disgrace like many people want, are going to say on Twitter, on Facebook, Mikel Arteta out. This is a disgrace. We should have, we should never have, played player ABC. No, I think we played well. 45 minutes, the first 45 minutes, we played well. The last 45 minutes, it was all about Liverpool. Were always going to step up their game. And I think when they stepped up their game, we actually, didn't step up our game. But look, it's a young side. It's growing. The individual mistakes are going to be there because these are young players. We said it in the summer. They're young players. They're going to make a lot of mistakes. We've got to back them. And I'm backing this side. I backed it just before the game. Said it's going to be a 2-2. Yes, I was wrong. Deep down, I knew it was never going to be a point for us. No, there was never going to be a point. But I wanted, a fight. First half, I saw that. We just need to cut away the second half. Focus on the first half. What did we do right in the first half? Next game is Newcastle. How do we bounce back? I think that's the biggest point. And then Manchester United is coming after Newcastle. So we don't have time to actually hold our heads down. It's actually more time to hold our heads high. Yes, it would have been beautiful to go away with a point, from the Old Trafford, but it did happen. And look, it's not a crime. Any Arsenal fan or any fan who tells you Arsenal is shambles, Arsenal is disgrace, look, we are here losing a game and we are not even dropping on the table. Can you imagine? We have lost a game of football, but we are not even dropping on the table. Can I tell you something? Wolverhampton Wanderers, after beating, they beat West Ham. Can you imagine? They beat West Ham, Wolves. So Wolves, after beating West Ham, Wolves are on 19 points. just 1 point behind Arsenal. And, can I tell you something? We are 3 points behind West Ham. Played the same number of games. West Ham are fourth. So that means if we beat Newcastle in our coming game, we go back to the same reality, fighting for top four. United 17 points. That means that they are a shambles. They have lost again. 4 goals to 1 to a crippled Watford. Watford are actually 16th, right? Watford 16th. They have lost. Brighton as well. Maybe Brighton again. Look, guys, we've lost a game, and we actually. I want to get this right, and I'm right about it, aren't I? I'm right about it. 17 points is Brighton. If they win, they'll be. Brighton are played. Brighton are played. Which other team has 7 points and they have not played football? They've not played game week 12. No other side. So that means we have lost a game and we are still in the top 5. Comfortable. I don't think Wolves are a big challenge to Arsenal this season. I don't think Wolves are going to be challenging for top 4. They should be challenging for mid-table, right? Yes, they're doing well, having collected nearly 20 points at this stage. They're doing well. I mean, to avoid relegation and all things like that, you need 40 points. They already have 19. Yeah, it's a very, very great step, great step forward. So 4 goals to 0, nothing. I said this before, and I'll say it again. It's a loss that means nothing. Nothing. On the table right now, it means nothing. We are 5th. We were 5th. It means nothing. On our progress, it means nothing. We are a side that is actually progressing. We are a side that is actually doing very, very well. So anyone who tries to step on me or step on my morale. Oh, look, you lost. Yes, we lost again. Liverpool have beaten United this season, and they were beaten by West Ham. So it's a Premier League. I mean, it's the Premier League, and that's the good thing about the Premier League. I mean, it's the jeopardy, it's directness at times, because this was so direct. Liverpool just being direct and hitting Manchester United and Arsenal 9 goals in 2 games. It's so direct, but that's the beauty of the Premier League. And this Liverpool side is a side that has actually been together for almost half a decade or more. They've been together. Look. The likes of Mane, 100 Premier League goals. The likes of Salah, 100 Premier League goals. So you can see we are playing a side that really has been together. And our players have been together for 8 games, 9 games. That's it. Our team has been together for only as long as 9 games. And Liverpool have been together ever since they lost the final in the Champions League. They lost the final. They lost the final. They won the final. Was it against Tottenham Hotspur? They won the league. They finished runners up on a couple of occasions. So look, poor performance from a rival perspective, but for me, as a fan perspective, look forward to Newcastle, and the ultimate test is coming against Everton, against West Ham, against Manchester United. That is our ultimate test. If we get to pass that. If we get past that, like I said, the next games were never going to be easy. I thought we would lose to Liverpool. Yes, we've lost to Liverpool. If we can bounce back against Newcastle, probably get 3 points against Newcastle, get a point against Manchester United, yes, then this game means a lot. Because, look, we're going to dive into the positives, the negatives, and the individual players' performances. But one thing I want to say before I even get into that is I'm not going to criticize any player on that pitch. Every player for me did well. Every player, it's a difficult game. Even if you played Atletico Madrid, just imagine they played Atletico Madrid, they destroy them, right? Home and away. Who are we? We're just a side that is growing together. Yes, Arsenal is a big team. And I know most of your predictions who told me, Cossy, Arsenal is going to win 5-0, 6-0. Most of your predictions were actually inspired by the fact that you believe Arsenal is a big side. And look, I don't disagree with that. We are a big side. But to come to reality, we are a team that has actually reset. We're a team that has actually gone back to the normal. We're a team that has actually gone back to where we are supposed to be, right? That's the team we are. We have a team that is trying to build something new. So if you look at the game statistics, obviously you guys know the lineups, but I'll try to go through the lineups once again, and I'll share my screen so that you can actually see the lineups and how both teams started. Because I think, honestly, to be sure, the lineup was okay. It was brave from Mikel Arteta, and look, I've never seen him that brave, honestly. I've never seen him that brave, and look, it was so brave. It was so brave, to look at the lineup he actually went with. So let's look at the lineup. This is how Arsenal started. I don't care about Liverpool, really. This is how we started the game. Ramsdale in goal, Gabriel White, Tomiyasu, Nuno Tavares, Emil Smith-Rowe, Albert Lokonga, Thomas Partey, Bukayo Saka, Alexander Lacazette, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. That is how we started the game. And it's more like we didn't even recognize that we are playing Liverpool. Because if you look at the lineup, the same lineup against Crystal Palace, no, Aston Villa, the same lineup against Leicester City, and the same lineup against Watford. This is the fourth consecutive game that is actually playing this lineup. And I think, it actually did well. It played a 4-4-1-1, which I prefer to call a 4-4-2. I mean, Lacazette being in that Odegaard role, which is more like in number 10, but of course, for me, he's more like a support striker. So it's a 4-4-2. And, of course, the substitutions, Lacazette came off. Martin Odegaard came on. Samuel Lokonga off. We had Ainsley on. And Thomas Partey came off for to give space to Mohamed El Neni, and that is how we completed the game. Right, so if you look at the statistics, and this is really going to be very, very interesting, and you're going to see how much we have improved as a side. We had 5 shots on goal. We had 3 shots on target. Right, it's one thing that we've always said, that if you get your chances, make sure they're on target. Partey, with the wonderful effort on target, forcing a very, very brilliant save out of Alisson. Then you had Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang as well with a very, very good run, again forcing a wonderful save from Alisson. I don't remember the third, the third shot. Which was the third shot on target? Was it Saka? I think it was Saka, wasn't it? No, it was Albert Lokonga, actually. Yeah, it was Albert Lokonga. So 3 shots on target. Lokonga, comfortable save for Alisson. Partey, that was not a comfortable save from Alisson. And then Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who was nearly, very, very, very near to scoring. Possession against Liverpool at the Anfield. This is something that, again, is a positive. 36% ball possession. That means we kept the ball more, especially in the first half. I feel like, okay, of course, they came on to us. They really, really came on to us. But in the first half, I thought we had very, very good spells, right? Saka, we could soak up the pressure and then get the outlets, in Saka and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And I actually think the reason as to why we've conceded 4 goals is we lost our game plan in the first half. It was soak up the pressure and then find outlets. In the second half, we failed to soak up the pressure first and foremost. We failed to do that, and then on top of that, we also failed to use our outlets very, very well. I felt like Saka was no longer getting the supply needed. Aubameyang, as well. So Liverpool were actually running the party, and then we went back to settings, self-destruction, mistake after mistake. But passing accuracy, 78%, a little bit better. In the second half, again, I'm going to say it was ugly. That Nuno Tavares, again, caught on the ball. Actually, Nuno Tavares giving it away to Jota. Tomiyasu giving away the ball. Partey, Lokonga, until up until he was substituted. I felt like in the second half he was really, really, really having a very, very poor game. In the second half, but 78 passing accuracy. We had 12 fouls. There, no yellow cards really. I can't really believe that. Red cards none, offsides 8 times, and we had only 1 corner. So look, if you compare us to Liverpool, we've been dreadful. right? We've been dreadful. But if you go into the circumstances of this game, if you get into if you get into the real reason as to why Arsenal have lost that game, then I think it only makes more sense. So if you can look at the table there, Arsenal still fifth, 20 points. We actually among 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clubs that have managed to get 20 points this season. The rest of the crap down, the 15 clubs, do not have 20 points. So again, another big positive. But look, guys, that is those are the statistics of this game, right? Those are the statistics of this game. Whether you believe we were good or we were not good, that is the final result. So let's start off with Mane's goal. The Sadio Mane goal, I feel like we should have done better in that instance there. Honestly, we should have done better. I don't feel like I don't feel like saying that the Sadio Mane goal. I don't look at it as a goal that we could have conceded at that moment, because we were holding up very well. We were really, really holding up, and I just felt like we needed to do better. We needed to do more. Gabriel and I think it was Tomiyasu. They had to get Mane, and I feel like it was poor there. It was absolutely poor, because I'm gonna be very, very, very straightforward. It was poor. Why it was poor? Because Trent actually swings in that ball, and the target is Sadio Mane, right? And Mane has all the time to get to pick his spot. That's the first thing. He has all the time to pick his spot, leave alone picking his spot, but he also gets all the time in the world, to get all that power, because Ramsdale actually, gets a hand on it, right? Ramsdale gets a hand on that ball, but it's so strong, and that's why I feel like we should have done better. There should have been a challenge on Sadio Mane, because again, in your box when you're playing Liverpool, it's Mane, Salah, Jota, Virgil van Dijk. Those are the 4 players that you have tracked. So I think first goal, we didn't really track Mane very well. And look, we conceded, we were still in the game. And that was the end of the first half. That was in the 39th minute. 39. So we had actually gone 40 minutes without conceding at Liverpool. And of course, if you are watching that game, one thing you would say is Arsenal have really tried, right? Because for me, again, the result doesn't actually bring out what's happened in the game. It doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. It shows that we were awful. It shows that we were, we did do nothing in that game, which is actually not true. I think we did something in that game. Now, the problem was in the second half. And look, Destruction FC, self-destruction, mistakes. I said this in the preview. You can't afford to do mistakes. You can't afford to do reckless mistakes in a Liverpool game away at Anfield. You can't afford that. Guys, I said it. You can't afford to do that. And look, I know players are under pressure and they don't want to do that. But the Diogo Jota goal, 52 minutes in, it's avoidable. It's avoidable. Because for me, it was just lack of concentration, lack of it's not passion. It's lack of concentration. It's lack of clarity. Because Nuno Tavares wins the ball, and I still ask myself, what is he doing there? Right? He has options in front of him. He has options, behind him. He could just pick out a clever pass. Like, I mean, that is an expensive area. You can't keep, you can't keep doing that. And I've seen it. Look at the goal Sadio Mane actually, set up Salah for in the 73rd minute. It's almost the same goal. I mean, it's that lack of concentration. It's that kind of period where you lack you lose concentration. That kind of period where you are you switch off, right? And it has taken around 3-4 games, 3 games actually, because I think in the Crystal Palace game we switched off. And when we switched off, Crystal Palace got 2 goals, one from Benteke and the other from Alton Edward, again from self-destruction. In this game, first half, 45 minutes clean. First 45 minutes. Actually, the first 50 minutes, They were clean. We were actually clean. Again, we lose concentration. You felt like Arsenal should have done better. If we had not lost concentration in that area, I would say, we don't concede the Jota goal. So I'm not going to blame Nuno and Tavares, because like I said, these are young players. They're really learning a lot. It's his first time to play at the Anfield. It's his first time to play against Liverpool, and the manager has actually trusted him. I felt like the reason that's why he was played is to add more outlets. That's the reason, because Nuno is a very, very good player. Going forward, it's gonna provide more outlets to you as a team and whatnot and things like that. But the greater risk that we actually endured, the expense of playing Nuno rather than Tierney, was we were playing Nuno against Salah, and you saw it in the second half. He destroyed him. He struggled against Salah. Honestly, I don't even want to lie. He struggled against Salah, really. But that is again 15 minutes in. I'm not going to say Nuno Tavares lost us the game. No. Settings from the beginning of the first half showed that Arsenal had lost concentration in that game. We had lost concentration. Honestly, guys, we had lost concentration. We needed to do better. We failed to do that. Right? We failed to keep up the consistency. We failed to keep up the clarity. We failed to keep up the vision that we had in the first half. And in the second half, Liverpool absolutely, oh my God, right? We gave them absolute gifts. The Nuno Tavares goal is a gift. For me, the Sadio Mane goal is a gift, because it's like we attempted to get back in the game and played a higher line. At 2-0, it was damage limitation, right? I thought at 2-0 it should have been damage limitation, and for me at 2-0 it should have been damage limitation. Nothing other than that. 2-0 damage limitation. Let us not concede for. But at 2-0 we were still very, very open. I don't know what Mikel told them at a time. It looked like they wanted the game, right? It looked like he wanted them to surprise Liverpool. And it's one thing I say, you've got to surprise them. You've got to give them something, right? To be surprised about. I think we tried to surprise them, despite the fact that it actually didn't work. Now, the third goal, the Sadio Mane assist to Salah, that was expensive, right? That was expensive. Don't get me wrong. All goals were expensive. Yeah, all goals were expensive, but that was a good goal. Because Sadio Mane's fast touch, the pace, the reaction, and the awareness of where Salah would be, at that moment, expensive. Absolutely expensive. And I'm not going to blame anyone, for that goal, because Ben White should have Ben White again loses awareness of Sadio Mane. And Mane has actually caused us so many problems in this game. The first goal, I felt like, we just lose concentration, lose Mane, and then he scores. And then the third goal, again, we lose concentration of where Mane is going to be. We lose concentration of where, of what Mane is going to do. And bang, he gets in there, assist for Salah. Absolutely dreadful, there. But again, look, guys, Let's say this. The delivery to Mane, you can't take anything away from it. Mane is a quality player, and Mane has done that. That's what Mane does, right? So I can't blame my defenders a lot. Like you're disgraced, you're useful. You're useless. No, I feel like if it is Ben White at 27. And he's being destroyed like that by Sadio Mane, I would be absolutely fuming, right? I would be absolutely fuming, but I'm not fuming at all. I know better next year or next season, they have the ability to do those tackles better. I feel like it's just anticipation, right? Our game lacks anticipation, both defensive-wise and going forward. Because look, you need to anticipate. And when I talk about anticipation, look at Jota's second goal, right? Look at Jota's second goal. When he gets that ball, he anticipates what Ben White is going to do, right? And then it's just a little flick, and then still he anticipates what Ramsdale is gonna do. Again, it's a simple flick, and he has an empty net, and literally he drove through through to the back of the net. So it's, I mean, because if Ben White could anticipate what Mane was gonna do, probably we could have avoided the third goal, right? But again, it's just one of those games where the opponent is too good, right? Where the opponent is too good, and you really can't do anything, on it. The fourth goal, morale was down, everything was destroyed. I feel like Arsenal had nothing to lose there, because at 3-0 down, yes, there is some kind of damage limitation, but I think Mikel was like, because if you look at the substitutions he made, he didn't bring on Pepe, he didn't bring on Martinelli. He brought on Ainsley to make sure that the midfield is a little bit solid, to hold the water. And then he also brought on Mohamed El Neni for Partey, to preserve Partey, because he knows Partey comes into this game half fit. He wasn't actually fully fit. Okay, he was fit, but he was coming from a muscle injury, a groin. So you really couldn't actually play him 90 minutes in the game that has actually become worthless. So someone was telling me, I think it was John Malik, who was saying that, Cossy, why does he put off Partey, in the game? It's worthless to keep him in the game. It's worthless. You've lost it. You've lost it. What you would better do is put off your best player, your best midfielder, keep him for Newcastle, and hope that you can get 3 points against Newcastle and bounce back. So the fourth goal for me, again, is Nuno Tavares' side that is being exploited. Salah, Trent, and then it's cut back. I felt like Ramsdale, Ramsdale wanted to help with that, but again, he has had a very, very great night. Very, very great night. And there's nothing really he does on that for me. There's nothing Ramsdale does. Actually, all the goals, let me see. The first goal, Ramsdale is a powerful header. There's a lot behind that Sadio Mane header. There's no way he saves that. The Salah goal, he doesn't save that. The Jota goal, again, he doesn't save that. And then the Takumi Minamino goal, he doesn't save that. So it's just the Liverpool were too good. That's it, guys. It's just the Liverpool were too good. We can't say anything more than that. But let's get to the negative first before I run into the positives. Individual errors. I think that's the negative that we pick away from this game. Individual errors and lack of concentration. Maybe those two. Those are the two negatives I'm looking at in this game, and I'm like, should have done better. We should have done better. Look, Nuno Tavares passing that ball to Jota was just, it was just that, it was just a symptom. It was not the situation, right? And anyone who comes to that, oh, Cossy, Nuno Tavares was shit. No, I don't believe so. I'm never gonna believe you, honestly. I'm never gonna believe you. I don't believe it was shit. I don't believe he actually had the worst game, of his life. No, because the third goal actually comes from Takumi Minamino's side, and the first goal also Takumi Minamino and not Takumi Minamino, Takehiro Tomiyasu. That is the second goal. The third goal comes from Takehiro's side. And the first goal, I think Tomiyasu should have, marked better with Gabriel, marked Mane. So it was balanced. I felt like we were exploited on both ends. Mane, again, not so good. I don't feel like he really destroyed Tomiyasu. And obviously Salah, I don't feel like he destroyed Nuno, again to the fullest. Yes, there was that spell where I felt like Nuno needed some help. And look, I don't know why Mikel actually brought on Martin Odegaard. No, it was a wrong decision for me. I think he should have brought on Kian Tierney, right, to help out Nuno, because in the second half he was getting destroyed by Salah and Trent. So I thought maybe in the second half he's done well in the first half. Bring on Tierney to try to help him out. But anyway, so look, but Nuno, that goal to that assist to Jota, it's coming from a spell. It's created from a spell where we have lost concentration. It's coming from a spell where Arsenal have completely lost focus in the game. That is that is where the goal comes from. It actually doesn't come from it doesn't come from us being dreadful, and it doesn't come from the player being really really dreadful. No, it comes from the fact that we lose concentration in the game. We lost concentration, and we were we were caught on the ball so many times. Our passing had actually become awful in the second half, and Liverpool, because Chamberlain had a chance to score again. I think it was from Tomiyasu, right? I think it was Tomiyasu. Chamberlain had a chance to score in that game, and I felt like maybe the ball just goes wide. But he could have scored. Liverpool at the beginning of the second half, they could have scored 4 or 5 goals against us, right? So we lost concentration, but the individual errors, again, we've got to do away with these guys. We've got to do away with this. And I know Mikel is doing a lot of work, trying to talk to the squad, trying to talk to his players about what we can do, but we need to do away with individual errors. They're actually costing us a lot. They really cost us a lot, because I think 2 of the goals are individual errors, and if we can do away with them, we can. And then lots of concentration in game, switching off in games. I don't know why. I don't know why we do it. I don't know why we do it. I don't see actually many clubs do it. That is to be honest, right? I don't see many clubs do it, but we really switch off in game. We really, really do it a lot. We really switch off in game, and it's something that will actually hurt us all the time. Switching off in game, you start off so well, and then you just disappear. It happened against Crystal Palace. It happened against Brighton. It happened against Burnley. Like, we just switch off in game. Yes, we were lucky to walk away with that point against Crystal Palace. Lucky to walk away with 3 points against Burnley. But if you play like that, if you play the game of luck, you're never gonna get it. You're never gonna be, you're never gonna be, you're really never gonna be that good, right? You're never gonna be that good. But anyway, guys, truth is, let me say this: the boys did well. Absolutely, the boys really, really, really did well. Let's see what you people think about the performance. Let me see what you people saying about the performance, and probably conceptualize. Ramsdale was brilliant. I thought Ramsdale was good. Unless there is unless there is someone who's wrong, Ramsdale was so good. Ramsdale was so good. Hi, Cossy. Andrew says, I'm disappointed, Cossy. Disappointed with what? Disappointed about what? And that is what I don't get, guys. Disappointed about what? Liverpool is a quality side. Liverpool is far superior, far better. They have a better squad. They have a better manager. They have everything better. We've not won a game at Anfield since 2012. How many Arsenal teams since 2012 have gone there and have not actually won a game? How many clubs do go to the Anfield and win a game there? Disappointed? That's the wrong word, guys. That's the wrong word. Disappointed is not the word for me. It's not the word for me. I'm not disappointed at all. A slab says, and why people wrote out Tierney for Tavares. I trust Tierney more. And Andrew also says he's disappointed. Ramsdale easily man of the match. Ivan says Ramsdale man of the match. Slab says Ramsdale is the god. Could be 8-0. Yeah, I mean Ramsdale really did us a lot of good in that game. He really did did us a lot of good in that game. FDX says Ramsdale man of the match. Titus says let Tierney come back to his position. Nuno played fake football today. That is what I say. Didn't I say it? When we were doing the match warm up, I said people are going to say Nuno Tavares is fake, and I feel like honestly, Mikel wanted to do kind of consistency and structure. I understand. He wanted to keep the same team that had played and got results in the last 3 games. But he hung out Nuno Tavares too dry. He really hung out. If he had, if he wanted to play him as an outlet, should have provided backup, with Ken Tierney. And people have started saying played fake football. He didn't play fake football. The whole team. I think that is what we played as a whole team, right? Apart from Ramsdale, there is no exceptional player there. There's no one. Look, if anyone feels like Nuno Tavares has had a very, very poor game, it's one mistake, right? It's one mistake that you lot are gonna capitalize on. The rest of the game, it is normal, absolutely, right? It's the same thing with Tomiyasu. He got exposed on a couple of occasions. Ben White, came in to rescue. Gabriel came in to rescue. Partey came to rescue. It was Liverpool. We know how good they are, using their flanks. So I don't think anyone should be, picking out names really at the moment. Ramsdale, man of the match from FDX, and then Tita says he likes dodging from behind. I hate that style of play. Right? Okay. If we had won the game, would you be saying the same thing? I don't know. Slab says you could see Alba was making fast runs. We need a creative player to deliver balls through the middle. I say that. I've already said that with the new central midfielder, and maybe I get to be right for once. Maybe, right? Maybe I get to be right for once. We need it. It's for me. It's easy to see, right? It's easy to see. We need a central midfielder. We need someone who plays with Thomas Partey better, or someone who plays with Lokonga better. But of course, it's always going to be Thomas Partey, isn't it? Right? It's always going to be Thomas Partey. Right? It's always going to be Thomas Partey. But you need that kind of player again that can release Aubameyang on a couple of occasions. Right? You need that kind of player that's going to release the likes of Saka, that's going to provide them with service, because we needed an outlet. To get an outlet, you need that player that has that kind of brilliance, that has that kind of speciality. Get the ball and just look for for ways through. But for me, that doesn't take anything away from the boys. They did well. They really, really did well. Slab says, Tierney is better by miles. Look, Max, please don't abuse the community. You're saying Tavares is better than Tierney. You could just say Tavares is better than Tierney, but don't really abuse. I'm grateful if you don't know that. And my man says, Cossy, we need to move on. That's the point. That's the point. I mean, there is no reason as to why we stay here and say, Cossy, we should have won the game. Cossy, what? We need to move on. How do we bounce back? For me, that is the big question now. How do we bounce back? How do we get back to winning ways? How do we, become great again? Right? 10 games in a row unbeaten. We can still rebuild that. That's an easy run. 8 games in the league unbeaten. We can easily rebuild that. Right? That's just a run. It's gone. We can get it. We have ever gone a whole season unbeaten, so we can rebuild that as well. Okelo Tita says Takiro is look, says Takiro also meandered in the back, but we need to work on that useless on that. Unless well done to the boys. Absolutely. Bob says I wasn't too disappointed, but I think Arsenal conceding 2 goals, they were going to defend. And let go because I didn't see any effort from our attack. That's the point. I think. Look, it's we set out to surprise Liverpool. Liverpool didn't give us the chance. They didn't give us the room to surprise them. I think that is what actually really happened, right? We set out to surprise Liverpool, but they didn't give us the room and chance to surprise them. As simple as that. Okay. Anu says, up the Gunners. Big up Anu. I love the spirit. Ignacio says, Cossy, we need Tierney in the game. Slab says, and as for Sambi, he looked dead second half, wasn't there. But fair to Liverpool press, is crazy. Always up the Gunners. There. I just want to take some of your comments. Edward says, "Bro, I expected Liverpool to beat us, but we need to work on the next game." That's the point. Yeah, that's the point. Go, get into the next game. Be more solid. Fight. As simple as that. Lincoln says no one is to blame, right? Estella says Ramsdale did absolutely well tonight against Liverpool. Lincoln says let's skip Force for the next game because we need the 3 points. Salah says boys did good, but we need to do better. Titus says the boys have that laxity behind. And then Laban says the team was off from was off from. He removed Laka instead of Saka or ESR. Look, again, you guys play. People playing the blame game. I mean, you could just choose to play the blame game. You could choose to play the blame game. I'm not doing that. Absolutely, I'm not doing that. I'm not playing the blame game. I feel like as a unit, the club, the team is growing. I think if you focus on the positives rather than the negatives, this whole unit is actually growing and growing well together. It's facts. It's facts. It's numbers. It's a unit that is growing well and growing well together. Look at the likes of Ramsdale, great performance. Look at Ben White and Gabriel. They had a very good. They had a very, very good performance. Nuno, he's new to the league. He's new to the club. He's new to the league. He's gonna. It's gonna need some time. The likes of Tomiyasu, they'll need some time. And I say this that it's never gonna be. It's never gonna be rainy all the time. It's never gonna be sunny all the time. Tomiyasu, fans' favorite, but there was always gonna be that time when he plays poorly. There's always gonna be that time when he doesn't play well. What happens there? Where do we go from there? Right? And for me, this is the point. He has not had a good game, back him. When he gets a good game, back him. When they play 8 games unbeaten, you lot were here backing them. Really, right? Backing them up. And now that they have a bad game, you're scotching them. 1 game in 10 games, and then you actually start scotching your own players. Absolutely, it's embarrassing. Anyone who's doing that, please stop it. It's embarrassing. But Kaleba says Auba and Laka was so useless. Lauren says defense was not good. It's Liverpool, guys. It's Liverpool, right? It's Liverpool. It's Liverpool. You always expected it to happen, right? It's just that, look, it's just that many Arsenal fans are just a bunch of hypocrites that when we lose, when we win a game, they come out and shout, "Yeah, we won a game. We were so good. We can't win the league." I'm not saying anything like we can't win the league in the comment section. You lot were saying that against Watford. We beat Watford 1-0, and I say that we need to score more goals. We need to get better. Nobody's listened to me. Everyone said, "Cossy, we are winning the league and we are beating Liverpool because Partey and the Aubameyang about." But it's a process. It's a process. That is what we've decided to go for. It's a process, and we've got to back the process. We've got to back them, unless it gets worse, to the worst. Unless the worst gets to the worst, for me, it's a good game. It's a good game, right? It's a good game. A game that provided everything: character, lots of course. It outlined our underlying weaknesses, and it also showed the strength Arsenal have a club. As a club. So I'm not really that disappointed, like anyone would say, because I'm really, really disappointed. If you're saying you're really disappointed, I'm sorry, but you are a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. Because 8 weeks ago, when we were on a winning streak, you're not saying that, right? And it would be even more embarrassing if anyone said, I'm not even gonna go into Mikel Arteta and anything. We'll do that in the player ratings. But anyway, guys, it's over. Guys have been beaten by Liverpool 4-0. Means nothing, especially by the fact that it means nothing on the table. See you in the player ratings.